Hello, my name is Dennis Boyle, and this week we've been talking about behavior characteristics in autism spectrum disorder. I have one student with or diagnosed with autism in my class. I teach a social emotional transition program, so my students are very high functioning. He is a fourth grader, and he's hypersensitive, so he does get overstimulated with the noise and the behaviors in the classroom. So he can ask to use the noise canceling headphones, which he does quite frequently. Some other things that I've noticed with him, he likes to scratch his hands, and then he every time there's periodically he likes to request like hand squeezes or pressure, which we have a weighted mat we can provide him. We also have a sensory balls, which he can play with as well. um, I also had the experience to go into the autism classroom next door, and observe them, and they have a wide variety of students on the spectrum. Most of them are nonverbal, and this that classroom is first grade to third grade. There are some that are verbal, but very minimal. There's a lot of visual aids in the classroom. They use the if then charts. If we do this, then we get that. Um, I see a lot of rubbing, scratching, full body rocking back and forth. That stimming, that stimming motion. Um, in the Previously at a previous school I worked at as an instructional aide, we dealt with a lot more extreme behaviors, and I did have students that did head banging a lot. So that is a behavior characteristic that I've witnessed through my profession. So some interesting things that I learned this week. One of them is some students with sensory disorders have difficult reading, um, as letters and words are constantly moving on a page, which got me thinking about my student in my classroom because he really struggles with reading comprehension. Um, so I'm wondering if there's something going on there, and it's sparked my interest and had me reach out to the school psychologist to see if there's something, if there's a test or something we can determine if that's what's going on, because he is very smart, but whenever you give him a text, he really struggles with the comprehension portion. Another thing is there's hypersensitive and then there's hyposensitive, is something I learned. So hypersensitive is when a student is over responsive, overstimulated, might might run away from sound or person or move away from a certain item. And then you have hyposensitive when an individual is attracted to a certain stimulus such as a bright light or sound. Um, some other behavior characteristics with stimming, that I've found that was interesting that I was unaware of. Um, but like walking on tiptoes, I guess that is something that is common with students on the spectrum. And then more severe, the head banging, the biting, the punching, the picking at scabs or sores, excessive rubbing, scratching the skin, or even swallowing dangerous items. For the social aspects, there's minimal eye contact, which I was already aware of, but that's something that is common with autism spectrum disorder. And then for my student and a lot of the other students in the classroom, they take longer to process when you ask them a question or a topic. I usually give them some time to process that. Uh, um, and then speech patterns, um, stuttering, I was unaware of, um, that it was there's can be a connection with autism and stuttering. And now it makes sense because my student in my class, he stutters a lot. So that was something that was interesting that I learned. Difficult maintaining and initiating conversations, which that's something that we work on in our class every day with social skills. And then with communication, like I said before, the processing times and delayed speech, that's something I like to give the students extra time to process, and I might repeat my directions or questions multiple times so my students can understand. And then also have visual aids, because visual aids are very helpful. But yeah, this week was very informative. I did learn a few things that I did not know before, but I'm excited to continue with the rest of the class and the rest of the semester.